Hello and welcome to Figments and Time podcast. I'm Lewis.
And I'm Val.
And we're here to share a little bit of the theme park magic with you. This will be our first episode back. We're going to call it Progress for multiple reasons that you'll see as you watch or listen. We'll post this on YouTube. It's also going to be on podcasts. Catchers, because Val knows these things, which is good because I'm going to have to do a professional podcast too as well myself. So without much ado, we have a couple of segments planned. We have Figment Feelings, where Val's going to share a little bit about her feelings on the magic. We have random theme park history facts about all theme parks, but usually about Walt Disney World, where we're going to take and find random facts in books that we own. We're going to just randomly pick it at the end of every episode. Randomly, have no idea what it's going to be, and that'll give her something to do during the week, other than all the other things she does.
I started to say, wait a minute.
We're going to do something called penalty kick trivia, and this is going to be modeled after the penalty kicks in the soccer game we began to watch recently. And honestly, the least favorite part of soccer is penalty kicks, and this will give me a chance to whine about that at least once in a while. Especially when you just saw the women's national team losing penalty kicks.
Yes, we did.
Oh my goodness, that was rough.
It was really sad, yes. As I am learning soccer, because I'm a new soccer fan, the matches that end in penalty kicks do confuse me a little bit as to which ones do and which ones don't. But yes, it was very disappointing this morning to watch the U.S. women lose.
It's legitimately worse than ties. And ties are really hard to get used to if you're not used to ties. But when they tie, and then you're just like, we're going to kick at each other, and whoever misses one, it's because there's no winner there. There's just somebody who generally speaking.
Well, it was really funny because I'd never seen a match end in penalty kicks until this week. And then I watched Nashville SC win with penalty kicks, and then the U.S. women lose in penalty kicks. So, it's 50-50 right now for me.
But we will talk more about penalty kicks another time. And then finally, we'll talk about what we're going to do next week, and we will pick next week's trivia. And this week, we're going to start with Figment Feelings. And Val posted a blog on our blog, which is figmentsandtime.com now. Much easier to remember.
Yes.
And we talked about how the magic felt now. We hear a lot of negative discussion about, the parks they're too busy, they're too slow, they're too this, they're too that, they're too expensive, they're not expensive enough. Okay, not a lot of people say that.
I've never heard that, but yeah.
I've said it a couple times. But usually when it's really, really busy, right? So I'm going to let Val take over.
Well, it was just one of those days where just post after post after post on social media were people talking about how the magic is gone. So it frustrated me because I feel like that we do tend to get a lot more vocal in negative feelings in general on social media these days. And I think people are really quick to jump on the negative feelings. And I so totally get that that's the clickbait that everyone's looking for, because people are going to look at those articles and they're going to see those things. But I just really started thinking, yes, Walt Disney World does feel different than it did when we first started visiting back in the early 2000s. But even though it may feel different because things have changed, times have changed, the world has changed, there is still so much magic, even when we feel like the magic is gone. And so I just really wanted to talk and rant myself for a minute about how we can still find things about the magic that are special when we really look for them. And part of where the magic comes from is from our expectations and from what we put into it. So basically, I was just really thinking about how we can still look for the positive and how we can make magic for people and for ourselves when we visit the parks, even though it might not be exactly what we're used to or what we expected. So that was my rant for a few minutes.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But I guess part of my problem was I don't notice the difference that much. I don't guess.
I
Um,
think that the reason why I noticed a difference at all is just because, the pandemic was so difficult for so many people. And coming back, I think that even cast members were struggling a little bit to stay positive and to be as outgoing because there were so many new rules and people felt so differently about the new rules and the changes. And so you were just starting to hear more people complain. You were seeing the cast members having a little bit more frustration because they were just being constantly bombarded with the negativity. And so there was a little bit of a different feeling to it. I'm not saying that there wasn't, but I am saying too that I don't feel like that we have to say it's completely the magic is gone or that things are completely different because it's not that different. And a lot of it is what we put into it. And so
I mean, thanks to magic mobile ordering, I find the parks more magical than ever. Because that's that's really made my experience at Walt Disney World better than pretty much anything else. Is not having to wait in line to eat.
well,
Because
yeah.
I don't like waiting in line. I physically don't like waiting in line. Sometimes I can't wait in line. But when you have to wait 20 to 30 minutes to get food, sometimes
Right.
I'll occasionally just not eat, give up, and eat something even worse than I was going to eat in the line I was in. So I do miss pin trading. I miss pin trading before it became all of the generic pins the cast
Yeah.
members would have, but
Yeah.
because you used to be able to find some things. I don't know. People get savvy to the fact that pins cost money, and they figured out how to do it. I don't know, but
Well, I think it's like anything. I think once newness wears off of things, but also once more people find things and it changes a little bit, then it does feel different. It just started the pin trading was just hard, had became harder and just not as much fun to me after a while. So I didn't enjoy it as much as we did when we first started doing it. But
I mean, the fact that we're going to be in the parks in September, October, December, and January, one or both of us, depending on our schedules, it does say we enjoy it at least enough.
we're enjoying the magic. We are finding a way to persevere through the difficult times that we find ourselves in.
Wow. Okay. On that note, we're going to move into a segment that we're calling Theme Park History Facts about all theme parks, but usually about Walt Disney World. And how we're going to choose these random facts if no one emails us with ideas that they want to talk about is we have books, and I'm going to pick a book randomly out of the books that we have. I'm going to pick a page number randomly out of the books that we have. I'll write some code to do this and put a thing on the screen to show you it being randomly selected eventually. And then Val's going to go off over the week and look up details about the topic. And it probably will not be as easy or a delightful topic to her as it is this week. This week we're talking about the Carousel of Progress.
Basically, what we did is I have we have lots of different Disney books, obviously, over the years that we have picked up. And I love history facts. I love hidden Mickeys. I like the history. And so I have a particular book that is by Susan Veness. And I'm hopefully pronouncing her name right. But the book is actually the hidden magic of Walt Disney World. And I think I actually got this at the park. I may not have, but I think I did.
You
And
buy
so
many things at the park. It could actually be from the park.
I think I did get this, or I got the first edition from the park. Maybe I ordered the second edition, but I really enjoyed this book a lot because I enjoy a lot of the details. And so basically what we did the other day is that Lewis just picked a number and he said page 80. And I looked at page 80 and page 80 was the Carousel of Progress. So it was a special surprise because obviously I love the Carousel of Progress very much. So basically what I'm doing or what I'm planning on doing is to use a little bit of the research skills that I received. And I'm going to pull some of the information from the book that we are receiving the inspiration from, but I'm also going to be doing some searches on the internet and some other searches within other materials that I have to be able to supplement the information a little bit as well. So it won't be just exactly from that one particular book, but try to use my doctorate in a positive way these days.
I'm hearing a blog on the Carousel of Progress coming this week.
It's already halfway written.
Just saying.
Uh-huh.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. I've often said I do love the Carousel of Progress. It is an attraction that we visit a great deal because I enjoy it so much. And most people know a lot of these facts, but it was interesting to read through and think through them again. The Carousel of Progress was originally conceived as part of a new area that Disney was creating for Disneyland called Edison Square. And the idea was that they had a partnership with GE and they were going to talk about electricity and how it has changed the world. But unfortunately, they had to abandon the project because the technology of the time didn't meet the standards for Walt Disney's idea, and they couldn't make it work the way they wanted to. So they just took it off the table and started working on other projects. And then came along the 1964 New York World's Fair. Disney had the opportunity to partner with GE again for an attraction for the World's Fair. And so they created a theater in the round called Progress Land. And the idea was that they would have stages that represented different time periods in history. And the audience would come in and sit in the theater, and the theater would move around the stages because originally it was going to be an attraction where guests would walk from one stage to the next, but they knew that was going to take too long and it would cause too many issues trying to get the audience settled again for the second presentation and then the third. So they created this theater in the round. And so it originally featured a time period in the late 1800s, early 1900s, one from the 1920s, one from the 1940s, and then one from the 1960s. And the idea was that it was going to show you the progress of electricity and appliances that would basically affect the home of an American, as well as the technology that would affect their lives. And so the Sherman Brothers wrote a song, There's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow. And they put together with a lot of other great actors. And it was their first cat and dog animatronics. And it was their first real jump into having animatronics run by people in a show, where you had a lot of people animatronics in a show. And it was incredibly popular. Even though over 200 people could enter the theater every 4 minutes, people were still waiting an hour in line to be able to get into the Carousel of Progress during the World's Fair. And then for the next year, because the World's Fair ran through 64 and 65. So for the second year of the World's Fair, people actually built a canopy next to the attraction for the queue so that people wouldn't be out in the sun while they waited so long. So it was an incredibly popular thing. Once the World's Fair was over, they decided to relocate the attraction at Disneyland. And then that's when they renamed it the Carousel of Progress.
And always packed, like at the World's Fair.
It is actually busier these days than it was for many years. It's back when we first started going to Disney, I felt like that sometimes we were the only people in a theater when we would stop at Carousel. But now it is very rare that we're not in at least a halfway filled theater most of the time. Of course, I know that it's limited in the hours that it's running now, so it's not like it's running all day like it used to. But when they relocated the Carousel from the World's Fair to Disneyland, they actually renamed it then from Progress Land to the Carousel of Progress. And it ran there for many years until GE decided that they were concerned that not enough new visitors were seeing the attraction. And they wanted more customers to see their products. So at that point, they asked if they could move the Carousel of Progress to Orlando, to where it resides now in the Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World. And at that time, that was around 1975, they also asked if the Sherman Brothers could write a new theme song for the attraction, because they were also concerned that the theme song was encouraging people to wait to buy appliances until tomorrow when they wanted people to buy appliances today. So that's when the Sherman Brothers wrote The Best Time of Your Life. And so if you remember seeing the Carousel of Progress years ago, you would not remember the wonderful theme song that we love today of There's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow. You would have heard The Best Time of Your Life. Eventually, GE was no longer the sponsor for the Carousel of Progress. And in 1994, they went back to the original theme song to bring back the nostalgia of the original attraction. Some of my favorite facts about the Carousel of Progress. One, it is the longest running stage show in the history of the American theater. And I think that is super cool. It is also the oldest attraction in Walt Disney World that was actually touched by Walt Disney. So he was actually a part of the creation, was actually part of the set that you see. He was hands-on with that specific attraction. And so that's the oldest attraction at Walt Disney World that Walt had a part in. It was updated in 1967, in 1975, in 1981, in 1985, in 1994. And then if you've been on it recently, you know that they updated the final scene just this last year.
I have not seen that yet.
You haven't seen the new scene?
I've not. When would I have been? Someone went without me.
I've seen.
I didn't get to see it. I've seen the pictures of it,
yeah.
obviously, but
Yes. I'm so glad that they did, because we have been saying for years it would be so simple, I would think. Now, I don't know what goes into it, obviously. So I'm sure if there's an Imagineer that heard me say that, they would say, you should see what we have to do. But I always felt like it wouldn't be that difficult to update that final scene just a little bit more. And so I was so very excited, when they did. Another piece of trivia that I really like is that the voice of Uncle Orville that you hear during the attraction is actually the voice of Mel Blanc from Looney Tunes fame,
which is a very versatile voice, because he voiced almost all the characters in all the Looney Tunes cartoons.
Yeah. And then the other thing that I found really interesting when I was doing the research for this is that there is apparently a cat included in every scene as well. And I was so disappointed in myself that I wasn't familiar with that. I have never noticed a cat in each scene. I purposefully did not look at the list because I want to look for them myself at the park. So the next visit that we go, my intention is to try to find all of the cats that are located in the Carousel of Progress.
She's going to marathon the Carousel of Progress all day until she finds it.
I will ride it several times if I need to. Yes, I will.
Which would be quite a day, right?
Now it's a challenge.
I feel like that song could wear on you. Relatively.
I don't know. I've ridden this attraction a billion times and I never get tired of it. I see something different every time. I just enjoy the nostalgia. I enjoy the feels. I enjoy looking for things because I feel like there's so much on each stage that it's almost impossible to see everything. I'm still looking for hidden Mickeys, and there are a lot of hidden Mickeys on this attraction. So especially in that final scene, I love the sticky note in the final scene from Marty Sklar. I have all of these little things about this attraction that I just enjoy seeing. So I never get tired of doing it. Now, I don't know that I would do a marathon of it for the day. I might if we lived down there and we were there a lot, but I wouldn't waste a whole day in the Magic Kingdom just riding the carousel. I am not like you with Everest. I don't like to take up all my time with those repeat challenges, but I do want to
Everest
find all the cats.
Does not have a theme song that wears on you, though.
It does not.
If it did, I mean, roar is good. The 50th time you hear roar is the same roar. It's not that big of a deal. But if I did have to hear, there's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Come on, you know how it goes. Shining at the end of every day. She's not singing in. Anyhow.
I do
Or
not sing. I've always said I only sing to myself and in front of children that do not judge.
Small World or Figments and Journey into Figments. That song, that would not, even the first one, I don't care.
Imagination? Is that what you're talking about?
Imagination, yes. That song would wear on you pretty quick. So that was random theme park history facts, all about theme parks, usually about Walt Disney World. We'll see what happens next week. I'm pretty sure it's going to be about Walt Disney World. So I think she already picked next week's already. randomly, I'm sure.
Randomly, but there was miscommunication. So yes, I've already prepared next week's as well.
So next up, we're going to do penalty kick trivia, and we're going to do best of 5.
We're going to completely embarrass ourselves for our lack of Disney knowledge.
We have questions from the Magical World of Disney Trivia. This is from PlayMonster Games. And we're going to take 5 cards, and we're going to ask 5 different questions. They have 5 colors. And I think the colors are just random, right? They don't have meanings.
They don't. Well, the game is a board game. We play it with our grandkids. If you're looking for a fun, all ages board game to play with kids, I highly recommend this. Our granddaughters love it. They ask us to play it every time they come over. It is a board game, and you spin and you move and you land on a color, and then someone reads you the question. The way that the game works, there are cards specifically for young children that are picture questions that are super easy. And then there are cards for older kids and adults that have more difficult questions on them. And we are going to be using the cards designed for older kids and adults when we're playing our penalty kick trivia. But it is really great because we have a young granddaughter that would have a harder time with these questions, but this way she gets to still play and enjoy the time with the rest of us. So it's a fun board game. A friend of ours from Dillo's Diz gave it to us as a Christmas present, and it has just been our family's favorite thing.
Okay, so what we have, and we're just you can pick a color. I'm gonna let you go first this week. Pick a color. Okay. You got blue, red, pink, green, and yellow. I will keep up with the score and the color that's been called.
Okay.
So pick your color.
I'll choose pink.
Pink.
Yes.
Her favorite color. In what state does The Princess and the Frog take place?
Louisiana.
That was really easy. Unfair. Okay. I will take red.
When Gaston picks up Belle's book in Beauty and the Beast, he is disgusted to find that the book doesn't have any what?
Pictures.
Yes, correct.
That was also relatively simple.
That was relatively simple. Even if you hadn't seen the movie, that one would be an easy one to guess.
Which color?
I will go blue.
How many eyes does Henry J. Waternoose have in Monsters, Inc.?
Oh, gosh.
Now we've got an actual question.
He has a lot of them, I think, doesn't he?
A lot of them is definitely not the A.
No, I'm just thinking that it's not a
this is the fun part about trivia, is asking the person you're playing against if they'll help you with the answer.
No, I wasn't asking for help. I'm going to guess 5.
Oh my goodness. That is exactly correct.
Yay. All right.
And now I'm happy. All right. I will go with pink.
In Monsters at Work, who from MIFT, MIFT, is obsessed with becoming the supervisor?
I don't know any of their names. We've watched it.
We have watched it. It's cute.
Reginald?
No.
I don't even
Duncan.
know if there's a Reginald. What? Duncan. No, I would not have gotten that.
Okay, I'll go yellow.
True or false? In The Little Mermaid, Ariel marries Prince Eric.
False.
True.
She does?
She does. And I'm shocked and appalled at your lack of knowledge.
She is yes, because the wedding scene's at the end of the attraction. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot.
legitimately, and that's I would have guessed true because I just thought
Oh
true, but
gosh. Oh
yes,
no,
that
I
is
don't.
probably the giveaway of them all.
I think I was picturing the wedding with Ursula pretending to be, and I just, oh gosh, it's been so long since I've watched The Little Mermaid. Okay, I'm sorry, I missed that one. All right,
Okay, give me green.
green. What is the name of the toy cleaner who fixes Woody in Toy Story 2?
Jerry,
Yes.
because
And do you know why you should remember Jerry?
because of the chess set.
The chess
'Cause he was
set,
playing chess
the
with himself.
Jerry's Game, the Pixar short, Jerry's Game. It's the same, Jerry. Yeah.
All right, so right now it is
Oh gosh, I'm in trouble.
2-2 with two questions, with one question left to go. No, two questions each.
Two questions. Yes.
Two questions. 2-2. Two questions left. I'm really good at keeping score.
I'll go
I started a
red.
very terrible way of keeping score for this. So.
Red. I'll do red.
All right. Which is not one of the excuses that Horst gives in Ratatouille for why he was sent to prison. A, blackmail. B, fraud. C, making a hole in the ozone. Or D, bank robbery.
Making a hole in the ozone?
I know you would think that, but absolutely not. That one was too interesting not to be in the list. It's a cartoon.
I know. I don't remember that at all. I'm so sorry.
Blackmail.
Blackmail. Okay.
Blackmail.
This is what happens when you haven't seen movies in so long that it's hard to remember these details that I should know.
It is indeed true. All right, so I will take blue.
All right. The Pizza Planet truck appears in every Pixar film to date, except for which one?
And I'm assuming we're talking full movies. I'm going to say Toy Story.
No.
Because that was the best guess. Like I didn't know if it was in the first movie or not.
You're going to be so disappointed when you hear the answer.
And I guess Elemental would be. I don't remember that from there. So this is Elemental.
The Incredibles.
Oh, really?
Your favorite movie ever.
Yeah. All right. So you have 2. I have 2. We're on the last kick here. Sudden death at this point.
Oh, no. I don't remember what color I have left. I think green.
What letter in the Pixar logo is stomped out by the Pixar lamp?
It's the I, right?
Unless there's an L, it is the I.
Your eyesight failing you there, friend?
It is not always a friend. All right, so here it is, the finale. Yellow.
Right.
I get this.
Yellow.
We'll keep going.
All right. This is so not fair. In the 1992 film, The Muppet Christmas Carol, which, by the way, we watch every single year. That's our Christmas Eve movie, family movie. Gonzo claims to be which famous author?
I was thinking it was Tolstoy, but I do believe it is Charles Dickens.
It is Charles Dickens. Okay, that was unfair. That was so easy.
Here on, you pick any color you want until we come up with an answer. What color you want?
Or not answer. I will go blue.
Blue. What is the name of the restaurant in Ratatouille that is shut down due to a rat infestation? And if you don't get this, I do have the right to make fun of you.
Is it not Gusteau's?
Are you asking, is it not Gusteau's, or are you asking it's Gusteau's? Is that what
Isn't it Gusteau's? That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
the way you said that, it made me second guess myself. Am I?
Because the answer you gave was not Gusteau's, and it is no, it is not Gusteau's.
No.
It is Gusteau's.
I said
so.
No, I was saying it that way
involved with this competition. You would not have won because I would not have taken that answer.
No, you said you are accepting that answer. You just, the way you asked the question made me think it was something not obvious. And so I was panicking for a minute.
Okay. I'll take blue.
Blue.
And if I pick the hardest question, you can always taunt me with the easier questions on this card that you pick.
Which version of the Arthurian legends served as the basis for the sword and the stone?
Is it the Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court?
No, it is The Once and Future King by T.H. White.
Oh, wow. Would not have gotten that. Wow.
Wow.
So I've lost again at trivia.
Yay.
All right.
And
So
you
that
can
is this
judge
week's
us now
show.
for the questions we missed, because some of those questions I should not have missed.
That's
That's
So
going to
that
be the
is this week's
fun for
show.
you, that you get to just go, these people are so silly. How did they not know?
Coming up next week, we're going to do some history, which randomly Val chose Liberty Square history. Randomly. See,
I
just don't trust that with randomly. If
I
it
really-
was
well-
randomly Rock and Roller Coaster, I would have been like, okay, she
What-
randomly chose Rock and Roller Coaster, but
No, what
randomly
I
chose
did-
her favorite part of the parks after her favorite attraction. There's a little something smelling in here.
What I did was that I was worried that I needed to have this week's and next week's done today, and Lewis was out. And so what I just did was I just picked a random number off the top of my head. I said 60. I opened the book to page 60, and it was Liberty Square. So I started
Rock and Roller
preparing
Coaster,
for
and then she
Liberty
said-
Square so that I would be ready for next week. So I am very sorry if I
Okay,
broke a
believe her.
rule.
We'll believe her this time. If next week it happens to come up to, what's your next favorite ride?
The Great Movie
next
Ride
favorite-
or something.
The Haunted Mansion specifically, we're really gonna just go, no, it's not happening. And we're also gonna do a new segment we're calling "It Was the Best of Snacks. It was the Not So Scariest of Snacks." They're gonna go through the snacks they have at it Not So Scary Party. We're gonna find the best ones. We're gonna find the worst ones, and we're gonna pick 2 that we're gonna buy when we're at the park for the Not So Scary Party in early September. Okay. So, bye.
Bye, friends.
I'm the worst at ending presentations and things. I do technical presentations, and sometimes we'll get to the end and we'll all just be sitting there wondering, is he done? And somebody will go, and they're like, yes, that's okay. You can do that. I know we're done. I'm not just thinking up here.
No, Lewis and social awkwardness kind of go together, so it's all good. We know that about you. It's
a
part of why we
shocking-
love you.
It's a shocking thing that I do public speak. All right, so we're gonna go head out right. Almost. Wait for it. I got to hit the right button. So we are leaving right now.